Good morning everyone. It's a very chilly start on Pidwa today. Absolutely gutted that this should have been the first day with our Kiwi group that visit each year. So we're going to continue with some birds, some more of the basic ones that we should have been out looking at together this morning, and that way we can start to get you ready for next year's trip. Starting us off this morning, we're here with some grey go-away birds. Surely one of the easiest ones to recognise. Everybody goes home remembering what these ones look like. And they're actually demonstrating perfectly for us how they get their name. You can hear them all calling, and it sounds like they're saying go away, hence the name grey go-away bird. So they're quite social birds. There's about 6 of them around me now. And they're very, very agile. They move around easily in the trees, almost running along the branches instead of hopping. And they do that with the help of a very special foot structure. It's what we call semi-zygodactylus. And it basically means that outer toe is reversible. So it can either point forwards or backwards, depending on their needs, which is pretty handy. And if you've been on safari before, you might actually recognize this one as a grey lory rather, and not agree with the new name I'm giving it of grey go-away bird. So what happened there was they actually made a new discovery in relation to the other birds in the family with this. Oh, I'm going to lose. Ooh. Okay, sorry, we're back. Yeah, so just saying they made a new discovery relating to the other birds in the family with the grey go-away bird. And those were special pigments called churacin, which is what causes a red colour, and another one called churacovidin, which causes a green colour. And they found those to be present in the other much more colourful members of the churaco family. Obviously this guy missed out on those pigments, so they couldn't call it churaco after the churacins, so it got the grey go-away name instead. Okay, another very easily recognisable bird here. This one is a helmeted guinea fowl. There's 2 species of guinea fowl in southern Africa, the helmeted and the crested, but we just get the helmeted here. And it gets its name and is very easily identified by that bony casque or helmet on the head. And also the spotted feathers. I'm sure any of you who have been to Askari may well have picked up a spotted feather off the ground. And they also have this stunning blue and red coloration around the head as well. That's only in the adult birds actually. The youngsters take a little while to develop those colours. So they are predominantly ground birds. They exist in huge flocks, up to 40, maybe even more, especially in the breeding season. They don't really like to fly. Again, if you've been to Askari, we will have chased them along the road many times. They really only take off if they get startled, and even then it will just be for a very short flight, no more than 100 meters or so. But they do, however, go fly up into the trees to roost at night so that they're safe from predators. So they feed on mostly bulbs, seeds and things. Often see them scratching their feet at the ground, getting up their food. And in the summer there's maybe some invertebrates around as well, which they'll feed on. They're real creatures of habit, so they'll always do this morning drink. We're lucky to have caught them at the water this morning, but it's very, very standard for them. They'll always come and drink in the morning. They'll repeat that again in the afternoon, evening as well, just before they go up into their trees to roost. This one is called a magpie shrike, easily identified by this huge long tail feather, mostly blackbird, just a little bit of white on the wing there. So being a member of the shrike family, these are basically like mini raptors. So they are predators. They eat insects, small reptiles, maybe mice, and they catch those from the ground. So just like this one's doing, generally sits up in the open looking out for things to fly down and hunt off the ground. But then unlike the raptors, which tear prey apart with their feet, these guys use their strong hooked bills. But yeah, very, very characteristic with that long tail feather. Often in groups as well, maybe a couple of them together. I know, I'm glad we found this one quite soon after the magpie shrike. This is a green wood hoopoo. They can look quite similar, except for obviously this one's got that huge long red beak. And then the green colour and the name comes from iridescence in the feathers when the light is shining on this bird. But in the shade, however, it will look black, similar to the magpie shrike. Okay, this beautiful kingfisher is a brown hooded kingfisher. Probably our most common kingfisher, especially now in the winter when the woodland kingfishers aren't around. So this one is here all throughout the year, and it's actually one of those ones that doesn't eat any fish. So along with the striped kingfisher, which is slightly smaller, these are what we call dryland kingfishers. And instead of fish, they eat large invertebrates, maybe even small vertebrates, little lizards or something, and they feed mostly on the ground, but they will also hawk into the air to catch aerial insects. This one actually has just had a little bath, so that's why it's shaking off like that, just to get the droplets off. It doesn't go fully into the water, just into the shallows, just to pick up the water, and then it's just on the branch here, shaking that off. Extremely lucky to spot these guys coming for a drink. This is an African green pigeon. I absolutely love these amazing colours, as you can see. So just to speak a little bit about that green colour, again, these are one of those birds, they don't actually have any green pigment, believe it or not, but this colour is caused by what we call Tyndall scattering. Now, if you saw our bird video there at Lilypan, it's what we discussed in terms with the kingfishers. That there's no actual pigment, but it's colours that are created by the reflection of different wavelengths of colour from air spaces between the keratin and the feathers. But in this case, that is combined with a yellow coloured pigment called a carotenoid. So reflection of different wavelengths of light from keratin and then combined with yellow carotenoid gives us this stunning green colour for the pigeons. These guys are very habitat specific. They're generally found along the river. I'm actually here at Eland Dam, so the river is a matter of meters away from me. And that's because they're mostly fruit eaters. They especially love fig trees. Again, if you've been to Askari, you'll have seen these guys in the fig trees in the garden. And you'll also know again that we're very lucky to have them out of those trees and in the open. This is an amazing sighting, probably my best ever sighting of a green pigeon actually. Yeah, so they feed on those fruits, and that's why they spend so much time in the trees and the fig trees and along the river. Ooh, let me just see if I can find them again. Okay, just got them up in the tree again here. But yeah, actually as well as fruits, these guys are known to practice what we call geophagy, which is the eating of soil. And they're one of a few pigeon species, pigeon and dove species, that do that to help supplement other parts of their diet. Oh, I can't believe it. I've just got back to the garden and here's a purple-crested chiraco. So that's one of the other family members that I was speaking about that ended up with the much brighter colours than the grey go-away bird. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that morning out and about with the birds. In between bird sightings, I actually came across some fantastic signs for brown hyena as well. So I've made some videos of that, and that will be our next episode. So please do stay tuned. Come in the next few days to hear all about brown hyenas. If you're new to us, then I'm just putting our YouTube channel below here. You can log in there and see all of our episodes to date for Askari TV.